What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today we're going to be checking out Slay the Spire, which is a pretty sweet game. If you've never played Slay the Spire before, I highly recommend it. But they recently had a patch cycle that added a new character to the game, and I wanted to play him very, very badly. The DEFECT. And so, being so excited about playing the DEFECT, I think we're going to go ahead and give it a run. So he's a little bit different from the previous characters that we've tried out on the channel. The first guy, the Ironclad, is kind of a melee warrior who beats things down. We've got the Silent, who's more of a rogue with lots of daggers and poisons and stuff like that. The DEFECT is wholly unique by comparison to those two other classes. Instead of stacking debuffs on the enemies or trying to deal sheer damage or anything like that, the DEFECT is unique because the DEFECT has this thing called the Orb. And so the Orb causes him to fill up charges inside of his capacitor, and this has various effects on gameplay that you can then trigger. And so he's very, very interesting, and I like him a lot. And so I figured we should probably do an episode so that those of you that didn't know that a patch had been dropped will now know that a patch has been dropped. They've also added in a ton of new relics. They've added in a whole bunch of new things and mobs and stuff like that. And so the game is continuing to expand in early access and is still developing to be one of the best card games I've ever seen. So let's dive on in and embark. Alright, another try in the dungeon. We get to choose something that we want to start out with. Because I haven't played the game for a while, I'm going to do my best to move slowly and talk about the things in the game, then how they function and how things work, so that you're not totally left in the dust. Right now, because I made it to the first boss in my last playthrough, I'm allowed to choose a different bonus for when I start out. I can lose my starting relic and get a random relic up here. Relics are super powerful items that can fundamentally change the way that you play the game. They can force you to make decisions that you normally don't want to make, because now you get a benefit for making those decisions. They can give you passive stat boosts. They can make you deal more damage. They can do all kinds of stuff, and actually the collection of relics that they have are very, very unique with regards to the fact that just like they do a lot of different things that you don't necessarily expect, very creative things. And so anyways, I'm going to go with a new card right here. We can either take Beam Cell, we could take Darkness, or we can take Tempest. I'm going to go with Beam Cell, because it's essentially the same thing as Vulnerability, which the other character has, or Bash. It kind of deals a little bit of damage, it's free, it puts a debuff on the enemy. Free stuff is good. From there, we get to choose what path we want to take through the dungeon. Question marks have random events, things that can occur in the dungeon that can be fun or not so fun, or just fights or treasures and things of that nature. You never know what's going to happen when you go to a question mark space. We have mini bosses right here, which give you a relic if you defeat them and a whole bunch of money and a better chance of rare cards. And then we have normal monster fights. We have stores because we have 99 gold right now. I would say we probably want to stack up a little bit more cash before we go after that. But I'm thinking the right-hand path sounds like a pretty good idea. If we go with the right-hand path, that gives us an opportunity to gear up a little bit, get a little bit of money, go to a store, buy things that we're going to need, and then from there we can decide whether we need to rest and get some R&R, or whether or not we wanted to go after a boss with less health, more upgrades, that kind of stuff. So, let's do it. The right-hand path it is. Battle start. So the way the game works is everybody has energy. The card's energy cost is in the top left-hand corner, and cards do various things. We have everything from normal attack cards to things like dual cast. And so with the mechanic of the DEFECT, what he has is orbs. Passively, orbs do stuff at the end of your turn, but you can also evoke them or consume them to do something cool right now. So a lightning orb, for example, its passive is that it deals 3 damage to a random enemy at the end of your turn. Its evoke is that it deals 8 damage to a random enemy. Chaos balls do all kinds of stuff. So you've got plasma balls. Those give you extra energy, and you can evoke them to get even more energy. You can use shadow balls. A shadow ball will actually just build up, and it gets a little counter on it. And when you evoke it, it deals the amount that's on the counter. There's also frost balls. The frost balls are the frost orbs. I feel like I've said balls a lot in this episode, and it's making me uncomfortable. Frost orbs will give you a little bit of armor at the end of each turn, and if you evoke them, they will give you even more armor right now. I'm going to start out with Beam Cell right here to deal 3 damage and put Vulnerable on the enemy. And then I'm just going to run Strike 3 times because I don't want to evoke that orb just yet. So we got a lot of damage done on that enemy. He's casting a spell right now, and so we'll find out what that is in just a moment. There goes the 3 damage from our orb being evoked. He's going to actually put out a little bit of damage. That's okay. We'll deal a little bit of damage back. So he took 9 damage that turn. The nice thing about the DEFECT is you can honestly play really, really turtly with him because he still deals damage regardless. I'm going to go ahead and evoke another lightning orb right there, so we have 2 now. I'm going to put up some defense, and then I'm going to strike this guy so that we kill him at the end of our turn. And so there it is. We get a card at the end of every combat. Sometimes you get more cards if you have certain relics. We're going to do a lightning build this time around, so I need ball lightning right there, which deals damage and also evokes a little bit of lightning. On this side, we've got this guy's going to deal 11 damage on his opening turn. That's going to sting a little bit. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not very excited about that fact. It's going to hurt. I don't like taking damage early. And right now, we're going to take 6 damage after he breaks through our block of 5. Little bit of a bummer right there, but it can't really be helped. Let's go ahead and throw that out. We've got Beam Cell right there, and we can hit him with a double strike, so it doesn't even matter after putting vulnerability on him. He takes 25% more damage or 50% more damage from every hit. We could take another ball lightning right there. I think that sounds like an okay plan. We are doing a lightning build after all, so our goal here is to throw out... Ew, gross. They're going to try and hurt me. Well, let's go ahead and have a turtley turn where we put up 15 block to block the 11 damage that they're going to throw out. He's doing 11 damage on this turn as well. Let's go ahead and play a zap right there. I'm going to do a dual cast to see how we can soften these cats up. That put us a little bit closer to the goal that we were trying to achieve, but he's going to put up armor when he hit him, unfortunately, so we're not going to be able to kill him on this turn. We are going to take that 5. Not fun. I don't like taking the 5 damage, but we have finished him off right there with our ball lightning. We got an ancient potion. It gives you artifact. Artifact is a buff that goes on your character that consumes the next debuff. So think of this as a debuff shield. The next time somebody tries to poison you or put an attack debuff on you or a defense debuff on you or a strength debuff, this will eat it instead and it will waste that guy's turn. Let's see what cards we've got. We've got Loop and we've got Random Orbs. Loop is pretty good, so I'm going to go with Loop. What Loop does is at the start of your turn, it evokes whatever orb is in the front as well, so now you get your orb ability at the beginning and at the end of your turn, which is pretty sweet. It can be nice. This guy's going to deal 13 damage right up in front. That's going to hurt a little bit, and I'm not excited about taking that straight to the face. We'll go ahead and deal 6 damage right there with our orbs, take 3 damage from his little hit. He's got 8 going out right there. I'm going to go ahead and put Beam Cell on him so that we get the damage buff on our next attack. We'll go ahead right there. Well, it's not on our next attack. It's on all of our attacks for the rest of the turn. We'll go ahead and run that right there, and that set us up for a lovely little turn to deal some damage to him. A little bit of damage out right there. Our health is looking... not quite as great as I would prefer for it to look. We evoked an orb right there. If you have no orb slots left and you get another orb, the one in the front is evoked. And so that's how we dealt the 8 damage right there. We've got Leap, we've got Loop, and we got a lot of attacks right now that start with L and end with P. I'll probably go with another Loop because I think it stacks. I'm pretty sure it stacks. So we're going to play it like it stacks and just hope for the best. Gross. I don't like this turn. This is really, really, really going to hurt. And I don't like my HP being low. I find that the Defect has a lot of trouble getting enough defense going along the way. Like, the Defect seems to struggle with having enough defense unless you're doing like a pure Frost build. And then at that point, you kind of suffer from not having enough offense. And so it can be a bit of a problem. So that will make it so use the passive ability of your next orb twice. Nice. I just wanted to see if it would work, so that's pretty cool. That was the end of our turn right there. We got a Power Potion, which allows us to get a random power card to our hand. We have Steam Barrier, and we have Recursion. Recursion is nice for a lightning build, so I'm going to go for it. Recursion is nice to have. Inside of our question mark spot, we ended up with a couple of enemies that need to be defeated. Let's go ahead and get Ball Lightning running. We'll get that going right there. And what does that do? On death, applies vulnerable for 2 turns. Weak. Super D-duper-D weak. A little bit more damage out, though, which is really, really good. I think I would like to kill this man. Now, that's the point at which we got to decide if we want to gamble or not. Statistically, we should probably be able to hit him, so 3 random chances to hit 2 different targets, essentially 3 coin flips. That's saying that we're going to get heads every single time if we hit this guy. Chances are that's not going to happen, but we don't want to commit the gambler's fallacy here. So I'm going to go for a block, and we're going to see what happens. Luckily, the gambler's fallacy did not get us right there. Go ahead and evoke my next orb for 8 damage. That looks nice. We've got a Focus Potion. So Focus is a new stat that only the Defect has. Focus, basically we have 3 Focus right now. He has 3 Focus by default. That's what you're seeing right there on each of the orbs. Focus is a rating that determines how good your orb is. So if I get 2 Focus from that potion, these numbers will go up to 5 right here, and these will deal 5 damage every single time at the end of the turn. And then on top of that, if I evoke them, they will do 10 damage instead, which is really, really nice. I don't think we need any of those right there. I mean, Reprogram is nice, But we have enough loops right now. I'll take another recursion just because. I'm going to rest right here. Your other option is that you can smith, which upgrades your cards permanently. Like, the upgrades we could take, we could upgrade loop, and loop would be pretty good. Beam cell would be nice. Recursion becomes free, which is also really, really nice. Zap becomes free, which is nice. Let's go for a free zap for right now. Because obviously, because we get the same benefit out of Storm Ball or whatever it is, out of Ball Lightning, we get the exact same effect, but we also get damage. That makes Zap kind of weak unless we upgrade it. So now Zap is a little bit nicer. But in general, I wouldn't recommend putting too many Zaps in your deck. It's just not a great ability. We can do... I'm going to go ahead and do that. We'll throw another Zap out. I'm going to kill him. We'll throw out a little damage right there, too. But we are going to take the hit on this turn. We're going to feel the heat from the streets, which is unfortunate. I don't feel good about that, but oh well. We can evoke our orbs and kill both of them in one turn. We got Essence of Steel right there. I'll probably swap that out for the Power Potion. We got Charged Battery, which is one of the better abilities that he has. It allows us to get some block, and it also allows us to get some bonus energy on our next turn. And bonus energy is always something that's in short supply. We've got the Nunchaku. Every time we play 10 attacks, we get 1 energy. Not really super great, but better than what we had. Among the stone and boulders, you notice an intricate large blue statue resembling a wing. You find gold spilling from its crack. Maybe there's more inside. We can remove a card from our deck and get 7 HP, or we can go for that right there. Don't feel that good about it, so we don't really have a lot of HP right now, so it's not worth the effort, in my opinion. At the store, there's a couple things we can have. Turbo is pretty good. I like Turbo a lot, so we're going to take Turbo. It's free energy, essentially. And what's not to love about free energy? We can gain block equal to the number of cards in our discard pile. Stat can be very, very good, and so I will take that. We have enough loops, and we have enough other stuff to where I don't think I want to spend any more money right here. Instead, I'll go with card removal service. And what we'll do is we will get rid of... Let's get rid of one of these strikes. It's always good to eliminate strikes if you have to. Because our HP is low, I'm going to focus on going for the next rest spot if we can. Before I go any further on into this little wonderful experience. We don't really have anything but damage. Have any block potions? Let's go ahead and drink that, and then we'll play stack. That'll get us up to 7, I think. And that'll take the edge off of what he's trying to hit us with right there. On this turn, we have a lot of damage coming in, so we're going to go ahead and defend. I'm going to throw out loop right there, throw out another defense. Let's drink a focus potion, and we will dual cast right here just to deal some damage because... they are actively trying to murder us right now. The game is doing a pretty good job of making me feel the pain and feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. We'll go ahead and evoke that right there. We'll throw out Beam Cell. And I didn't want to do that, but he's going to die from our little orbs anyways at the end of this. Other things we could look at whenever you play a power card, draw 1 card. We do have power cards inside of here. I don't know if it's going to be that useful, though. We'll take another stack, I guess. Stack can be really, really good or really, really bad depending on when it falls to you. It sort of depends. It's one of those cards that's kind of all over the place. It can be really, really good or it can be really, really bad, and that makes me nervous. I'm going to evoke an orb right there to deal some damage. We're going to play Loop to get that up and running. We're going to play Strike. I could have done Dual Cast, which probably would have been the smarter play, but that would have left me with no orbs, so I'm trying to get myself set up right now. Every time we use a skill, he's going to gain strength and hit us harder, in case you were wondering how he works. And so playing skills is kind of a bad idea against him. He can really, really, really make you feel the pain. I'm going to resist the urge for right now. We're already doing a pretty good job. We can take 6 damage. Oh, 21 damage. That's even worse. Okay. Well, unfortunately, we're going to have to go headlong into this one. I'm going to play a power right there. But this is going to hurt. I was hoping I could maybe outrun his damage, but it don't look like we got that lucky. It don't look like we got that lucky. We got him killed right there. There's 15 block, probably worth it. We don't really even need to play this turn because we're going to kill him at the end, but our health is kind of bad right now. Upon pickup, choose an attack card at the start of combat, this card, so it gives innate to one of these cards. We'll go ahead and make Beam Cell innate because it's free. And we got Force Field, costs 1 less each time that you play it. That's kind of an iffy ability because you have to have 4 energy by default in order to make it work. I'll probably take Steam Barrier. We're really suffering on the defensive front. Like, not just kind of suffering. We're really, really, really suffering. This is a ripperoni run, I think. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do. Let's go ahead and run Turbo real fast. We'll go ahead and Beam Cell this dude. This boss's mechanic is that if you don't deal 30 damage, by the time that he has an internal cooldown, he hits you for, like, all of your health. And it really, really hurts. So it's in your best interest. It would behoove you to deal that damage before he gets there. It would be my recommendation that that damage happen before you arrive at that conclusion. Just saying. And we don't want to play Steam Barrier right now because that will permanently devalue it. However, we do want to play that right there. Perfect. And so we can ride out his next phase without having to worry too much. I'm going to throw up another loop right there. Just throw that on up. He's going to deal that damage, so we'll go ahead and throw up Stack right there. That'll give us the 10 defense we need in order to weather the storm. And then I'll throw up a little bit more because I'm not inherently interested in doing anything too crazy right now. Stack will save us once more right there, so that's good. I'm going to play Recursion so that we get a little bit more damage off. And with 16 damage, we are going to have to play a little bit more defense, but we'll have some extra energy on the next turn to maybe lay down our best laid plans. So we got to deal 40 damage this time. Funsies. I'm going to play... Oh, we got 0 inside of there. So let's play Block. Let's play Defend. Let's play Strike. And I'll play that for the 3 defense. I don't really have much of a choice. We'll throw that on out there. Apparently, I lost an energy on that turn, too, from Void. He's going to defend on his next turn. Let's go ahead and we can hit him with some of that big old recursion damage right there. Very, very nice. The build is coming together, and it makes me happy to know that the build is coming together. What is that right there? Exhausted cards? What exhausted cards do I have? Oh, yeah, Void. Okay. Let's play Stack to get rid of that damage. That's the 9 damage he's going to deal. We'll play Zap so that we get a little bit more damage off. I mean, we get healed to full after we get out of here, so, like, I can take some damage. It's not really that big of a problem. I'm not going to play Turbo right now because that's going to lead us to a conclusion that I don't think I want to go to. But as you can see, I really, really like his mechanic. I'm not good at it yet. This is probably my 5th or 6th run with him, and I'm starting to put together builds in my head. I've been trying to stay away from looking at... guides and things of that nature just because... You know, I want to learn him for myself. And I could look online right now and I could find all the card tiers and I could find out how good he is and everything else like that. But I'd just rather not, you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather just do it all on my own. So let's play Defend, Defend. And we will throw out a Recursion right there. Kind of had to play what I played because we're going to take a lot of damage right here and we don't really have much of a choice. We're kind of on the edge of ripperonis at the moment, and I don't want to be on the edge of ripperonis. We need to get 24 damage off before too long. Otherwise, bad things are going to happen. That'll get us there. Yeah. It'll get us there. We've got him close right now. Actually, we've got him finished off. Loop came through and paid for us. Nice. So we can get a new card right now. We can get all for 1, all cost 0 cards up in there. Lightning now hits all enemies. Channel 2 Lightning. That's pretty good. We need Electrodynamics. Electrodynamics will change the game for us. At the start of your turn, you gain 1 energy. I think I'm going to go for the Velvet Choker. The other stuff, so we had the White Rhino, which makes us always get a potion after combat. And then we also had another thing that makes us get a curse every single time we open up a chest. But it gives us extra energy, too. And so... this is not going to be a build that plays a lot of energy or plays a lot of cards per turn, and so I'm thinking the extra energy from the Velvet Choker is a really good idea. It'll help out a little bit. We're not playing plasmas or anything like that, so we should be all right. We've been healed to full at the end of that floor. That's one of the bonuses from doing the floor bosses. I'm probably going to cut through here to see what free bonuses we can get. We'll take all those question mark rooms, and hopefully it'll turn out okay for us. I'm going to go ahead and hit her with the beam. We'll get 5 defense right there. We'll get Loop up and running. We will get Strike up and running, and I don't know if I want to dual cast right now. I think I'll leave it alone. We'll play Electrodynamics. That'll channel those 2 right there. Our lightning now affects every single person on the battlefield, which is great. That's going to help out tremendously. Unfortunately, we don't really have much else to play, so I can't do much right there. I can't do much. With Ball Lightning, we've got Turbo right here. Let's play Turbo. We want to play Stack last. We're going to evoke some pretty serious damage on this turn. We'll play Stack last so that eats up all the damage she's trying to deal to us. Her special ability is that every time we use a skill card, she puts a Fatigue inside of our deck or a Dazed inside of our deck, which can be a problem. That's just free damage right there, so I'll take the free real estate. I will take that as well, and that's going to be a kill on her, so we don't even need to play the rest of the next turn. The build is coming together. The build is coming together. Skim would be really, really nice. It allows us to draw 3 cards. Hand variety and hand economy is always a good idea. Sometimes you don't get the things that you want on a turn. And better than wasting a turn, you can grab a few more things and at least do something. For 75 gold, he'll remove a card from my deck. The beggar takes off his cloak to reveal he is the cleric. You are a kind soul. Receive my purification, he screams. You are unsure if he's grateful or mad. Let's get rid of another strike card. We don't want that in there. We're trying to keep our deck kind of small so that we can predict what comes out. We got the Courier. The merchant no longer runs out of cards, relics, or potions, and his prices are reduced by 20%. Not bad. Not bad at all. Unfortunately, I'm going to be skipping over the top of this next guy right here because I don't want to fight a boss right now. I'm not going for a score run. I don't really care about that. We're going to go ahead and throw together Turbo, Skim. We're going to play Charge Battery. We're going to play Steam Barrier because we got to get rid of some of this damage. We don't really have much of an option. And I can only do 6 cards a turn. I was planning on hitting that one right there, and then we'd be good on the damage, but oh well. Hopefully we'll get Electrodynamics up pretty soon too. That would be greatly helpful. We'll play what we have for right now because we don't have a choice, but this turn's going to be a little bit stingy. It's going to hurt a tiny bit. There's Electrodynamics right there. We're going to go ahead and play that. We channeled 2 electricity right there. Got a little bit more damage out on that side. We have Defend and we have Recursion. Oh, Dual Cast will get him. Never mind. We'll get him with Dual Cast. We'll finish him off the right way instead of making a dumb decision. We've got an upgraded Charge Battery right there. Ooh, Reinforced Body's kind of nice, though. If you really need a turn where, like, you need defense and you need it right now, but I'm going to go with the upgraded Charge Battery because we've been using most of our campfires for sleeping, not for upgrading, and so I feel like that's the better choice for right now. Hit him with Beam Cell. We'll get both loops up and running, and unfortunately we didn't end up with any of the stuff that we wanted, so I'd prefer to get Thermodynamic or Electrodynamics running on the first turn. This guy has a mechanic called Confusion. It makes all your cards cost a random amount of points. In case you didn't know, it can be kind of special. It can be kind of special. This fight's kind of a RNG check, in case you didn't know. Like, weird things can happen with this fight. Like, I've seen this fight be an absolute slog because you just don't get lucky with the cost of any of your items. And I've seen it be really, really easy because everything comes through free every single turn. It just sort of depends what you want to risk. That'll get us there, and then I'll run a strike on him just to deal a little bit more damage. I'm not trying to be super balls to the wall right now. I'm trying to make the right plays. I'm not an amazing card gamer, but I'm trying my best here. We got a free block right there, which is really great, and a free skim. Hell yeah. And a low-price turbo. Yay. So let's run Recursion. That'll deal some damage. Let's run a Ball Lightning because that's free damage right there. Let's go ahead and run a Zap. And then that's going to be the maximum amount of cards we can run this turn. Because of the limitations of our Velvet Choker, we can only play 6 cards. I'm going to run Charge Battery right there because it's free. Ball Lightning will get us there. Nice little bit of damage that we've dealt on out. But as you can see, his playstyle is really, really unique. I like it a lot. We're going to take another stack right there because I love defense. I am going to take... What's on the map right now? We got another campfire right after this one. This one's going to be an upgrade. The next one will be a heal. Let's go ahead, and we will go with another upgraded... What does Electrodynamics do? Channel 3 Lightning. I'd like it better if the cost went down to 1. That gives us 3 energy now. Good lord. So we get block plus 3 if we go for that one. That'll give us 4 cards. Steam Barrier will go up to 8. Steam Barrier's free. I'm going to have to go with the Steam Barrier. I always try to prioritize defense when I play this game because that seems to be my winning strategy, making sure that defense is upgraded before offense. There are situations where I will not do that, but we're going to have to throw some damage out here. We don't have a choice. They're not doing anything right now anyways, and that allows us to get some pretty considerable AoE stacks up. This build does require more or less. We could take 3 damage. This build is going to require more or less that we have electrodynamics. This build is not going to work without electrodynamics, so if you don't get electrodynamics early, it might be better to abandon the run and just start over fresh and see if you can get electrodynamics early. Because for the build that we're currently doing right now, this is a build of my own making. I'm kind of playing it by ear, but I'm also playing it carefully. Let's go for ball lightning right there. That'll give us a little bit more damage out on them. We'll run another loop. We'll run a charged battery. That'll get our discard pile nice and beefy so that we can run double stacks right there. And oh my good sweet lord, the build is a late bloomer. It's coming together. Oh, another upgraded steam barrier, huh? I do want it. I do want it. I want it bad. We'll go ahead and rest right here. Take another treasure chest. So we got the Vajra. Start every combat with 1 strength. Not a great card for us, but I mean, it adds a little bit of damage, so it'll be okay. Another recursion would be good. I wouldn't hate another recursion. Over here, we can afford the orange pellets. When you play a power, attack, and skill in the same turn, remove all of your debuffs. I don't really like that. I mean, it's okay, but it requires too many things to happen in order to be useful. Because we have 4 energy, technically we could run that, but that just seems like a bad item to me. It don't seem like a good item. I don't like it very much. If we could get a few more upgraded zaps, all for 1 would play into the build okay. I'm going to go with another recursion, though. Then we'll go with the card removal service. Get rid of another strike. Strike, it's time for you to go. Goodbye, Strike. It was nice knowing you. I'm on strike from strikes right now. Probably cut up the center path, I think. This will be an interesting fight. We'll run Beam Cell over there. We'll evoke an orb, and unfortunately, that was not a great turn for us. That was a turn where I didn't get anything that I wanted, and now we're going to be a little bit defense light in our deck. Let's go ahead and run that real quick. We'll do charge battery. We'll run electrodynamics. We'll run loop. We will evoke another orb. And let's go ahead and put weak on him so that he deals less damage. It's still going to hurt, but we ain't really got much of an option right now. We're going to take the hit. I'd love to get a couple self-repair cards if I can. That'd be really, really good. We'll run a zap right now to deal a little bit more damage. We'll run a recursion to get a little bit more damage. We'll run a dual cast to get even more damage because I'm trying to keep the heat on them right now. Trying to keep the heat on our streets. Hey, there we go. We got rid of the healer. Fantastic. That fight could have gone a lot worse. We got 14 cards inside of there. We'll run a double stack right there. Actually, all I have is defense right now. Okay. I'd love to hit him with a ball lightning if you can. There we go. Another one bites the dust. And so I hope you guys have enjoyed... Ooh, Equilibrium's pretty good. I mean, it'd be better if it didn't cost 2 mana, but we've got extra energy, so maybe we can make that work for us. I don't know. This guy wants to... So as you attempt to sneak past a group of shrouded figures, a naked red-skinned man approaches you. Got any jacks, friend? I got the shakes bad. Please, maybe some coin. All right, I'll take your relic. He gave us Orichalcum, which means that if we end our turn without any block, we get 6 for free. Not too bad. We got another fight over here. But this game is called Slay the Spire. This is the newest character called the DEFECT. If you guys like what you saw so far, by all means, you should check out the game down below. This is, in my opinion, one of the better games that's been out in the last year or so, and I highly recommend it. I probably would have been better off going with the Orichalcum right there. Ouchie, we gonna get stomped on. That was not a fun turn. That was not a fun turn at all. I also need, there's a card that makes it so every time you get hit, you channel 1 lightning. I need to get that because that would go into our build very, very nicely with electrodynamics and everything else. That'd be a super swell build. Get all my buffs and whatnot running. But yeah, if you want to get the game, I got a link for you down below, as I always do. It is, in my opinion, one of the better games of the last... It's a pretty good game, man. I don't have scan. Unfortunate. Wish I had scan, but I don't have scan. It's one of the better games of the last year or so. I highly recommend checking it out. It's a fun game. It will not steer you wrong. I'm going to have to, unfortunately, put that up right there. I guess I could run turbo and I can get electrodynamics up and running, which would be great. We channeled a whole bunch of lightning right there, which is cool. We're keeping him kind of worked on. But anyways, I'll see y'all later. Thank you for stopping on in. Hi do, everybody, and take care. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I like this game a lot. It's a game that's got a lot of variability and a lot of things you can do. Even if you're just playing around with weird builds and whatnot, you can still do it. You can still do it. I'll see y'all later. How you doing? Take care, everybody.